how to set up a good press kit for high profile productions, meaning productions that are tourable, that can be looked at for as a possibility for touring, things that show off high production value for the Logos Theater, etc. These press kits are mainly for news people, producers. This is not necessarily for a venue looking to promote the whole show. So that's kind of a separate thing where we do a whole drive with all the sizes and different things that they needed. So this is very basic stuff like your best pictures, best trailers, all gathered into one place, something that we could easily give Noah or Nicole if they're in a meeting, and we could send them a link. Hey, where's the best trailer for Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe? Boom, we can send them a link for this thing. If a news person is asking for B-roll and stuff like that, boom, it's right there. We can just send them a press kit. The idea of a press kit is kind of growing, in which like we've done it with some productions that are really good, that I kind of like the format of what we do, but I think this will have to expand as well into like a general ministry kind of thing. So we'll kind of go over that as well. Of this is what the Logos Theater. This is a general reel of what we do. Here's our best pictures. Here's our best representation of puppetry, etc. So the thing to maintain with a press kit is making sure that the branding is up to date. So all of our logos are up to date. Making sure that the quality is up to date. So making sure that if we are doing something for, say, Prince Caspian, that we're doing all the stuff from the most recent version versus 2021, where it looked completely different. Or even the promo stuff that we shot in 2023, and then updating it to our most recent stuff. So I'm going to be using Prince Caspian a lot as a guide because I kind of like what we did with that one best. So first of all, the press kits are going to be found here on our media Dropbox, which the login is on our media passwords, and then you're going to go down to the Academy of Arts press kits. Okay, so here's a collection of a lot of different things. Brothers Twice press kit, Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe, AOA General Ministry. There will be a Logos Theater General, Pilgrim's Progress, Prince Caspian, The Horse and His Boy, Scarlet Pimpernel. So these are shows that show high production value. They're tourable, and so I'm going to start with Prince Caspian. Although before we dive into what we actually do on Dropbox, I think a good press kit starts with setting ourselves up for success and how we archive a show. So on the NAS, we've added some, in our Logos Theater thing, we've added some new things to our template for a production. So I'll use, again, Prince Caspian as an example. So we've added things like a press kit over here. These are not always filled. Sometimes you go in them and the folder is empty, which is where you come in and looking at what we need, what is actually needed, what high profile shows are coming up next, and prioritizing those, but then kind of going back into like, okay, what could go on tour, what could be asked for next, and then what is the best that we have with this production. So I've tried putting stuff in a press kit, but also it's just kind of making sure the elements are good as well. So doing our best B-roll. Best B-roll could be everything that we have for the Logos, so it's nothing watermarked. It's just a compilation of all the best B-roll that we have from the show. We can also make a B-roll for a press kit, which has watermarks. It has our logo on there. Here, I'll just show. It has our logo there at the top. It has a copyright thing here at the bottom. Just that, and there's no dates or touring info in there. It's just a representation of what the show is. It's a very basic one. So this is, this may work for some things. This may not, depending on what event you might need. But it's obviously way shorter than the B-roll that we would use. And it has the branding on there. It has the produced with special arrangement by the C.S. Lewis Company, et cetera, all that stuff. So honestly, the times where things need to be updated the most is with graphics, because you could export a bunch of photos, put the Logos Theater logo on there, but then you realize, oh, it's not beneath to say the Academy of Arts Logos Theater logo, and just make sure those logos are updated. But yeah, in promo too, making sure that we have our trailers nicely exported. as well. So so I guess when we export a trailer, making sure that we export a version, let me grab that again, I'll just go in here. Exporting a version that's without dates, so if we just wanted to show a representation of Prince Caspian, it didn't have anything like coming to Museum of the Bible in 2024, because obviously that's in the past. So yeah, just doing one that says the branding at the end, but not really a something like that. Okay. No dates. So, all right, so let's dive into Prince Caspian to kind of show what is basically needed in a press kit. So your basic elements that you need in a press kit are trailer, your best trailer or trailers, and your best photos. So B-roll B-roll is also nice to include, especially for news outlets and whatnot, or sometimes other venues need it because they're like, oh, we're putting this in our lineup of things. So to show off what they do at their theater and things like that. So B-roll is really nice, especially for the news. There's no music in it, so you don't have to worry about copyright things. So here in Prince Caspian, we have production photos. Now, this is a little excessive right here. I mean, just for the news, you mainly just want a 16:9. And I mean, at the most, you want like 10, but you can have other ones as well. And basically, you want photos that really represent the best production elements of the show. So puppetry, the best special effects, the coolest lighting. So our best photos that we take from either promo things or from just the stage as well. So stage shots that look really cool, and then other things. Now this photos here are actually outdated, sorry. And it's because of this logo right here. So this is the Logos Theater logo. We have an updated logo, so this is actually outdated. In production photos, sometimes I'll include a 1x1 or vertical photos, but I don't think we'll need those, especially for a press kit. So we're not going to worry about those. In fact, I'll probably just delete them right now. So we kind of keep it focused on the 16:9. Obviously, for venues, they'll need different sizes for social media, so that's why we provide all those different sizes. But for a press kit, I think we could just keep it 16:9 and not worry about those. So yeah, Prince Caspian need to be updated with new logos. Trailers right here. I like Caspian because it has two different trailers. It has a kind of like a more story trailer that shows more of the story of Prince Caspian. It's a little more moody. It's a little more, just kind of gives the story a little more. It has some good reviews from Douglas Gresham and Narnia Web and different places. So this is a nice trailer. And then it just has like a promo trailer with audience reactions right here. Both are really nice to kind of give either side of the trailer, either to promote it from like, oh, audiences love the show.
Blew my mind. That design, all of it's nice.
And so we have both, and then both don't have any dates. So this is a good example of the kind of trailers that would need to be on a press kit. So, like we might have like one with a lot of audience reactions, and then we might have one that's more story driven, that has more sound bites from the actual show, that gives more of an idea of what the show actually is. Both are needed depending on whatever situation, but both are good to have on hand. So that's why I like the Prince Caspian press kit. Obviously, some updates need to be made with the logos and such. Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe, I think we're still working on. I think we have some graphic things as well that are specifically made for the show, which are really nice. So any kind of element that is nice to just be able to hand to somebody and say, here's a good representation of the show. It's really nice to have. AOA General Ministry. Here is where I have like our overview for churches. I have this Forever Change video, which is like a little promo we did about how being in the Academy of Arts changes people's lives, but then also this overview that goes through all of our facets of ministry. Logos Theater. I think we have some pictures of like the building. No, we don't have anything in here actually. So some things are a little more specific, I guess, specifically needed, but we could have some pictures there of just like drone footage of, the exterior, interiors of the Logos. And then here's probably where we would put in, I think I had this for specific renovations and stuff. I had this for a specific thing. So that's why sometimes these press kits get very specific, is because we are requested for something. Like, we need this exactly for the news, or you get some random request about, like, we need all the Backstage Pass videos to show, and you're like, okay. And so you just gotta, not all of that lands into the press kit. But the most commonly asked for things are best photos of the puppets, best photos of our best stage productions, and our best trailers for Narnia, biblical productions, et cetera, et cetera. So we'll work a little bit more on the general ministry footage things, but yeah, AOA overview, any kind of reels and things like that. Brothers Twice is a little different. Obviously, once like it's screenshots from the movie, we might put clips on there that are branded. We have some of our best BTS pictures on the Brothers Twice thing, just to give an idea of the production and the scale of the production. So that's why it's a little different. We don't usually include BTS stuff on, our productions and stuff, just kind of the product of them. But for Brothers Twice, it's a little helpful to see the production side of things. For like Scarlet Pimpernel, you'll see like some of these portrait kind of things used as well. Just any kind of, those kinds of things look really nice. We have some stage photos in there as well. I think these are ones that we specifically took. And I think sometimes we just need to go through and sort what is like the best of the photo from here and just kind of scale it down to whatever is the best. I think we dumped a lot of photos in here, but I think it'd be helpful to go through and just kind of like, okay, what's the best of the setup? We don't need a ton of close-ups. And the reason for that is because other news outlets might not have other people handling all of our stuff might not choose stuff that would put everything in context, choosing too many close-ups or whatnot. So it's best to put our best foot forward with these kind of things. Horse and His Boy. Yeah, I think the puppets were a big thing, so we put a lot of the puppets in there. Production photos. I think there's a mix of stage photos and good photos from the actual show. People will ask for both at times. Trailers. We have a couple of different press kit trailers, and that's just kind of for whatever's needed. But yeah, so that is a general overview of just making sure everything is branded well, is up to date, and then there's enough of something, but also not so much of something that if they choose the wrong things that it makes us look bad. Another note is that not all of these trailers with the music is not all owned by us, so the news can't have all of, we just have to make notes for the news of like, okay, this can't go on national TV. Like, obviously if we give them B-roll that's silent, like that's okay for them to use. But a lot of the music that we use does come from Epidemic Sound, which is strictly for our social media. It can be used by other people as long as we clear it on Epidemic Sound, and that could maybe be just like a separate video. But our audio blocks or things like that. So hold on. I do believe our licensing with audio blocks does allow for us to use our trailers on television, actually. So we'll have to look and finalize that. But so sometimes we'll do that, rework some music for audio blocks so that it can be put on TV. I think we ran into that with Branson with their TV ads. So that's just a note for that. But yeah, so just pay attention to the music as well in the trailers to make sure that it can be put on social media. So depending on which kind of outlets want to use it for, it can go on other social media things as long as we clear it on our end. So, okay, any questions?
There's so many. They kind of vanished though because now I'm on the spot. So like you're making something from the ground up and it's a show with puppets, you're gonna make a folder for puppets and get like our best like staged puppet shots. Like these are like the iconics. Are these puppet iconics? Or like do we use iconics in these press kits, or is it mainly just stuff from the show to like highlight what the show is about? Like
Yeah.
press kits are essentially just us showing people this is the show, come see it, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, that is a good question. So they're asking about, okay, if it's a puppet heavy show, do we include iconics of the puppets? So for example, with Pilgrim's Progress, we have these iconic pictures of Apollyon and Giant Despair. Do we include those? I think for sure, definitely, because it's a huge production element. And honestly, too, when we go to like a general Logos, when we complete our general Logos thing as well, I would like to put those pictures of like Giant Despair and the trees and the horses and Aslan and all of those, put those in there as well, just so that we have a best representation of what our puppets look like. So yes, as far as iconics, yeah, as long as they look really good, yeah, definitely including those. Another thing I forgot to mention though is that, and one thing that helps with keeping the size of the pictures down is that we can rename some of these so that they actually kind of make sense of like, okay, this is, kind of describe the photo a little bit of like, okay, Shasta and Tashbaan Shasta meets Edmund and Tashbaan. So that way it's not just because some news outlets will ask for like specific, okay, what are the actors in there? Like we need to list out all the actors and stuff. But so that helps with like naming them. That I think make it look a little nicer. So Horse and His Boy needs to be cleaned up a little bit. Prince Caspian needs updated things. But this is the tutorial, so I will include all that. We can talk about that later. So yeah, I think include anything that provides wow factor to the production is important. So if we took really nice iconics, including those in, if there's really nice pictures of, puppetry. So like that really nice picture we have of Rex the Dragon from Kingdom Chronicles, including that as well. Yeah, just anything that shows off any production elements of the show. Yeah. Okay. I think we can go to more specifics after this tutorial is over.
Okay. So press kit, in essence, is just our B-roll, approved music that we know our licensing covers. And like if we do include a trailer, would that like, if we wanted a trailer that was already pretty good, would we have to like recut stuff for news use, or is that kind of like a waste of our time? Like I've only ever seen them use B-roll and like photos.
Yeah, so I mean it's up to whatever the needs are for the, like I want to go, so like I would usually just export the trailer as is without dates and then put that on the press kit. And then as needed go back and maybe recut something with new music if it's needed, but like you're saying, yeah, they don't usually use those things unless it's specifically requested. So
okay.
Yeah. So the press kit is try to give us like a general pool of things, of assets that we need to meet a variety of people's needs, but it won't cover everything. So still have to be on your toes and be ready. But that's why the organization on the NAS is so important, to set yourself up for success, to be able to go back and grab the things that you'll need for any of these projects and for these high profile shows. So stay organized, folks. Okay, I'm going to cut it.